What do you think of the whole thing? Is that how you spell it? Will do. Right, we need a spinny thing. You ready? So, this week, well, next week I'm back at the chateau for a few weeks. Up on that roof, I think, for at least 3 weeks. So the chances of going off for an adventure before the end of September are pretty slim. I think this week's the last chance we have to get off on a big adventure before the end of the summer. Now the weather up here in the cruise is alternating between sunny and torrential rain, which is good for the land because we really need it, but not great for adventuring. So would you like to come to the south of France for a couple of days? Now the itinerary includes, but is not exclusive to, stunning mountain roads, hilltop fortresses, medieval towns, maybe dining on a terrace, a nice hotel. I don't know what else. I haven't put much thought into this trip other than head south where it's 25 degrees and sunny to a town in the mountains. That's as far as I got. And we'll be going to see a gorge that has a pretty cool name. Anyway, that all interests you. Get in the car. Welcome to Siran, S-I-R-A, name on the screen. It's on the southern edge of the Massif Central here in France, not too far away from the Pyrenees. So technically, we're in the south of France. So we arrived a couple of minutes ago and parked up in a nice bar in the town square and have a beer on order. And then I think we're going to have to go and try and pull our have you got any room in the inn trick to find a hotel for the night. But it is out of season, so hopefully the hotels aren't full around here. So let's see what happens. Currently there's 2 other groups of people here in the bar. 4 American cyclists over there talking about the best way to kill squirrels. And then there's a group of English people over there talking about renovating a chateau, funnily enough. And no, I don't know them. Right, let's have a cold beer. See about finding a hotel. Now, the hotel I'm staying in tonight is lovely, no doubt about that. Fantastic shower, but they did ask me did I want to eat dinner in the restaurant. And I said, well, I don't know, I've just arrived. So, can I have a look at the menu, please? And he said, there is no menu. And I said, okay, well, how does it work then? And he said, well, the chef comes in and he decides what the menu's going to be. And it's 65 quid for dinner. What's 65 quid for dinner? And that's like, you know, the usual France thing, starter, main, dessert and a cup of coffee. But I can't justify 65 quid for a dinner, let alone a dinner that I haven't seen the menu for. So there's a little bar down on the town square that does like burgers and chips and whatever else. We're heading down there now. beautiful here. Really beautiful. Struggling with the name of this place though. I don't know if I got the pronunciation right. It's the Gorge de Brie. Have a look for yourselves. Welcome to the River Brian, at the base of the Gorge of the Brian. The water is crystal clear and you can swim in it naked if you want because there's no one else around. Might not film that bit, but it's beautiful down here. And there's a little waterfall over there that I think only is present when the water level's this low during the summer. So it's probably not going to name. So I'm going to call it the Falls of Brian and claim it for Ireland. Very pretty. Refreshing little dip. No, I didn't film it, you perverts, because I forgot my swimming togs. Anyway, much as I'd love to stay down in Brian's Gorge all day, we kind of have to climb a cliff now and see about a cup of coffee. Now, we didn't come all the way to the south of France just to visit Brian's Gorge, take a swim in Brian's River. We came here to see an ancient hilltop fortress built in the 12th century called Minerve. That was a climb. Welcome to Minerve. It's a village on a rocky outcrop that overlooks two rivers. The Brian, which is the one in there we're just visiting, and another river there, over there called the Siran, I think. And they meet just below the outcrop down there and then tunnel straight into the limestone cliffs and make their way out to the sea somewhere. Now, there's been evidence found of people occupying this site that date back to the Bronze Age. But the village of Minerve is probably most famous for the events that occurred here in 1210 AD. So in 1209 AD, the town of Béziers, which is to the east of here, was sacked by the Crusaders during the Crusades. You probably have heard of it. If you haven't have heard of it, you've probably heard the quote, "Burn them all and let God choose his own." That was Béziers. Not a very nice bunch of blokes. Anyway, 140 odd Cathars escaped Béziers and took shelter here in the village of Minerve. And in 1210 AD, the village was laid siege to by a guy called Simon de Montfort, who was the 5th Earl of Leicester. He was chasing the Cathars. And he laid siege to the village for 6 weeks. And he was fended off for those 6 weeks by the Viscount of Minerve and a garrison of 200 soldiers. Only after 6 weeks, old Simon got a bit bored with this siege thing and decided to poison the water supply to the village, forcing the Viscount to surrender. Now, when the Viscount surrendered, he negotiated a truce with Simon, the 5th Earl of Leicester, to grant amnesty to himself, the garrison of soldiers, and the residents of the village. Unfortunately, Simon wasn't so forgiving with the Cathars, and offered them a chance to convert to Christianity or die. They all refused, and 145 of them were promptly burnt at the stake. Simon, the 5th Earl of Leicester, was not a very nice bloke. He's busy doing jobs, can't be distracted. And someone asked me in the comments the other day, Brian, did you say between the jigs and the reels in a vlog the other day? And I had to look back, but yeah, I did. I said between the jigs and the reels, it didn't happen. And basically what that means is, for one reason or another. And that got me thinking, what else do I say in the vlog that might confuse people? You know, stuff like, what's the crack? Now, what's the crack just means, how's it going? What's up? Are you okay? How are things? That kind of thing. But there is a few expressions you might hear me say in the vlog, and some you definitely won't hear me say. So here's an example of something you will never hear me say. Top of the morning to you. Now, no one from Ireland says top of the morning to you. I have never heard it said to me, and I have never said it to anyone else. In fact, if one of my friends said, top of the morning to you, Brian, my response would be, are you okay? So 2 words you're very likely to hear in this vlog repeated are grand and crack. Now, not that type of crack, C-R-A-I-C. Crack means, well, it can mean a lot of things. You can put it in a lot of different sentences, put it that way. You can say, what's the crack? We've covered that one, how are you? You could say, that was great crack, which means that was good fun. That was no crack, which means that was no fun. The crack was 90, which means that party was brilliant. And something like, oh, that film wasn't much crack, which means I wouldn't recommend you go see that movie. So that's crack. Another one you'll probably hear quite a lot of is grand. How are you? I'm grand, I'm okay. Or you could say, I'm grand, which is kind of a sadder way of saying I'm okay. But don't be confused into thinking that grand means okay, because it doesn't. If you'd said something like, oh, that was a grand pint of Guinness, that would mean that was a lovely pint of Guinness. Not an okay pint of Guinness, a grand pint of Guinness. You might also say, if someone asks you, how's the car going, Brian? You could say, the car's going grand. It doesn't mean the car's going okay. It doesn't mean the car's lovely. It means the car's going grand. We're heading back there now. Got some thunderstorms are looking like they're rolling in. I don't want to be on this mountain when thunderstorms come in. I have had a lovely couple of days here in the south of France. It was nice to finish off my few weeks off with a big trip and an adventure, and I hope you enjoyed it. Monday I'm back at the Chateau, and then next week my parents are coming back for a visit with my brother. So it's going to be a busy week. Anyway, thank you very much for watching today's vlog. I hope you enjoyed the adventure. I'll see you soon.